North Carolina squad as we are underway under the lights here at Dorrance Field. Wanzer sends it up.
Mike, one thing that was apparent from our conversation with North Carolina head coach Carlos Simwano is that any opponent, especially this time of year as you're winding toward the conclusion of the regular season, it doesn't matter if somebody's an ACC opponent or a non-conference opponent. In college soccer in 2025, every team has talent. The margins between winning, losing, or walking away with the draw are so thin at this level. At this matchup tonight, the final regular season non-conference game for his team will demand full effort, energy, and attention.
Any team that comes to play here at Dorrance Field is going to give 110% each and every single time that they step foot onto this field. Carolina, a team that carries heavy representation throughout the ACC, starting to make waves in the national standings.
Well, Carolina's kind of flown under the radar a little bit this year because of all of their draws. They started ACC play 0-4. You do not see that very often, that teams begin their league slate with 4 consecutive draws. It may be a little more common now since overtime has been removed from college soccer in the regular season, effective with the 2022 season. But still, Carolina played good teams, played them tight. Obviously, they didn't get beat, but yet perhaps lacking the quality wins. But Carolina earned a road win against Louisville earlier on in the month of October, and then a couple of wins in non-conference play their last 2 times out. 3-0 win against Lipscomb, and most recently a 4-0 blanking of St. Thomas in a game that was scoreless at the half.
Well, they had the lead against SMU in their ACC clash. It was a great move by Bracken Serra to get the foul, and then the eventual free kick that led to them getting the lead in that game. But some miscues ultimately led to SMU tying that one back up. As we continue on here in this non-conference tilt. There's a long ball to the far side. As we take a look at the man at the helm for the Tar Heels in a national championship in 2011 in his first season.
Do you know where that national championship was held?
I do not.
Hoover, Alabama, just outside of Birmingham. Okay. So when Carolina went to visit UAB last year, believed to be the first time that Carlos has coached a game in the Birmingham metro area since that triumph in 2011. And the national title win came against Charlotte, who was UAB's most recent opponent. 5-0 win for the 49ers in Birmingham on Sunday night.
Bergie's able to get a foot on it. But it ultimately ends up back with the Blazers. Garcia crosses it in, and nobody's home. Frogson comes in to head it away.
Right idea there for UAB and Matthew Garcia. Serve it toward the far post, try and get a runner there, and perhaps catch Cortez a bit out of position. But still, it's a positive outcome because as Frogson heads it out, that's a corner for UAB. They average just 4.5 of those per game, 8th best in the 9-team American Conference. So to get one early on and have this opportunity, something to build on for the Blazers.
So here comes the corner from Joe Leva, and Cortez is right there in the mix to get it.
Andrew Cortez has had an interesting career at Carolina. He transferred in as a redshirt freshman in 2022, was the primary starter that season. By the opening of the 23 campaign, he was 3rd on the depth chart, but stuck it out, and due to some injuries that year, rocketed his way up to number 1. And wouldn't you know, the Tar Heels that season came 1 win away from reaching the College Cup, thanks in large part to Cortez's strong play in net. and then came back last year, and now in his final season of eligibility, he's a guy that Carlos Samuano describes as a bit of a throwback, given his loyalty to the program and his ability to stick it out and continue putting the work in behind the scenes. He is such an integral piece of this team's success, and quite obviously has had a lot of success there individually between the pipes, as Carolina has given up just 1 goal in the run of play since September 5th.
Incredibly rare to see a player not test the waters with the transfer portal these days, and to be able to have a player buy into your program is certainly a good thing to have, to garnish the respect of a lot of his fellow teammates to stay with this program. As we take a look at head coach David Lilly in his 2nd season, just trying to bring some life back to this UAB program, who hasn't registered a season above 500 since 2014.
Coach Lilly, coming in from ETSU, was very, very successful there, leading the Buccaneers, and was only at ETSU for a short time, just a couple of seasons after 4 years as the head coach at his alma mater, Milligan College, at the NAIA level. So David Lilly, a program builder, now in year 2 in Birmingham, trying to push the Blazers back up in the American Conference pecking order. And it's been an up and down run with just the 3 wins this season. They came against USC Upstate, Missouri State, and Jacksonville, but 2 wins in the last 4 games. Perhaps UAB finding a groove here, as for them the goal is to qualify for the American tournament.
Great defense there from Sandmeyer. As they work it around now to Abeal. Sarah gets it taken away. Kropp comes in on the tackle as Joe goes down.
And Dimitar Chavdarov, our center referee tonight, has summoned over the UAB captain. That's Alan Melendez. And this is an explanation to Melendez, just kind of a courtesy warning to the captain, saying, hey, we're not going to tolerate some of this rough play here, but we're going to keep the card in the pocket for now.
Quick touch from Mate. Here's Sarah. And it's kicked out by Dantzlet. Carolina looking for their chances offensively. Haven't seen them be too aggressive. Here's Nikolai. Gives it up for Abeal.
Nice work by Carolina to cycle it around.
Here's the cross. Comes in from Abeal! And Carolina is on the board first. A thing of beauty in the middle for Nacho Abeal. Great find coming in, Matt, to find Abeal right in the middle.
That great ball from Callum Frogston into space for Sarah. Quick give and go with Nikolai, and then the ball is slipped across. Rygaard Hansen there sending it across, and Abeal able to beat the UAB keeper Ranieri, but excellent footwork over in the far right corner by the Tar Heels, as the athleticism of Rygaard Hansen, his interplay with Nikolai, comes into play there, and Abeal, right place, right time. Abeal has been more of a facilitator with the 8 assists coming into play tonight, but picks up goal number 5 and he continues to have a fantastic season for the Tar Heels.
He really has, and along with the other additions to this Carolina team as well. Luka Nikolai ranked so high heading into this season as one of the many dominant transfers that made their way to Carolina this season, as they grab the first goal here today, thanks to the right foot of Nacho Abeal. Rygaard Hansen can't collect it on the far side, and it goes to UAB.
Second assist of the season there for Batil Rygaard Hansen, who last season was a bench spark plug for the Tar Heels. And I choose those words pretty deliberately. He is so fast that last year he would come in off the bench and provide fresh legs that especially tired out back lines simply could not match. But this season, he's taken on a bigger role as a starter in every game. And Carlos Samuano said, you know, there was pressure that he was putting on himself to score. He had not scored yet this season, and he finally broke through last week on the road against Lipscomb. But there, Rygaard Hansen didn't try and do too much. He was able to fire off the cross to Abeal, and you can see the cohesion of this offense with pieces in Rygaard Hansen, who's a returner, Abeal, who's a transfer, Nikolai, who's a transfer, Frogs in his first year, and it takes time to build those connections. But yet they're coming together here as this season wears along.
That's a pretty constant question for a lot of teams that bring in a lot of transfers, is how are these guys going to be able to work together? And Carolina has certainly gelled together very well.
And as we said, the importance of every single game, regardless of if it's a conference game or not, is certainly emphasized inside the Tar Heel program. But having this stretch here, Carolina had its ACC bye week, if you will. There's an odd number of men's soccer teams in the ACC, and so every match day somebody's left out, and it was the Tar Heels last weekend, so they played the non-league game against St. Thomas. Having this little stretch here against Lipscomb, St. Thomas, and UAB certainly allows for Carolina to work some things out, build some momentum, and 8 goals in this little stretch.
Cortez in the mix once again to corral it. And a lot of variables starting to work here tonight for North Carolina. Bracken Sarah able to keep it alive. Abeal sends it across for Rygaard Hansen. Hansen in front, but they can't get it.
UAB with a keeper change into this game. Francisco Ranieri makes just his second start of the season. Tom Mabone, sophomore out of France, had started 10 of the previous 11 for UAB, but tough night Sunday as they conceded the 5 goals against Charlotte. So the Buenos Aires Argentina junior makes the start for the Blazers tonight. Extended time in South Florida with Inter Miami 2, but also a transfer from FAU, UAB's conference rival in the American.
Check with a great run at it, but an even better tackle coming in from Bryce.
Bryce got back to prevent Czech from firing off a cross. Last touch over the end line by the Blazers, so Carolina will set up for a corner. Tar Heels don't have a ton of opportunities from the corner flag. Just over 5 a game, 12th best in the ACC, which has 15 teams.
Nikolai sends that one wide. Another big transfer, another big get. Former Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year in 2024. continues to excel in his junior season.
Well done by the Heels to win that first ball, keep possession, get it out into space for Abeal.
Here's Abeal. Gives it up in the middle for Nikolai. Looks for a Tar Heel, nobody home. Ranieri is there to scoop it up.
Nacho Abeal, 11 points last year for SIU Edwardsville. It was still good for top 10 in their league, the Ohio Valley Conference. But this season now 5 goals and 8 assists as a Tar Heel.
He's really been an incredible addition for this North Carolina squad. We hit on it in the open. He has been a large part of this offensive chances this year for North Carolina. Sends it back for Krop. He's looking to catch Abeal on a long ball. Abeal is able to get there. Working with Mate. Mate, another impact freshman for this Carolina team. Here comes Rygaard Hansen on the cross. Jensen tries to head it away. Still up for Carolina in the middle. Mate gets tripped up. Carolina calling for it, but they will not get it. And they'll look to reset.
Play on, says Dimitar Chavdarov, but how about Emmanuel Mate coming up from his outside back position to create the numbers advantage there on the edge of the box, and Carolina still with the possession from that whole sequence.
So many different players are starting to step up here, man.
Yeah, if UAB wants to find their way to an equalizer, they need to start spending some time on the ball, and they just simply have not had that here as this first half ticks towards its midpoint.
Justin has to struggle to get that ball. Knotted up closely with Abeal. Carolina providing some pressure, and they'll win it. Almost had a chance up there with Bracken Sarah, but it comes back for Sandmeyer.
See if UAB can build something here.
Working well across. Tony Kim with a nice move to keep it alive. Here's Humphrey Doe. It's been a catalyst for this offense, and he gets tripped up. Callum Frogson could have been a little too aggressive there.
Well, Humphrey Doe had a step here on Callum Frogson. Frogson with the closing speed, and yet just a little bit late on the tackle. Just outside of the penalty area, so no PK here for UAB. And honestly, this is a tough angle for the free kick. See how the Blazers do this. You probably want to try and serve what from our perspective is the near post. Try and get a runner in there. Your other option is to play it to the top of the box and get a better angle. This feels like an important moment over the course of this first half for the Blazers.
A chance that UAB desperately needs, as that chance goes up and over the hand of Cortez, but misses wide. A great chance coming in from Joliba.
And that is what UAB tried to do there. They tried to get a runner along the post.
So a goal kick here for Cortez. As time continues to wind down, Carolina with a 1-0 lead. Up in the middle for Sandmeyer, and Joe Levi is going to be called on that one. Carolina trying to control the tempo. Have all the momentum on their side.
I think it was really important for the Tar Heels to come out and score early here at home. Set the tone in this game. The game against St. Thomas was a 4-0 final, and Carlos Zamorano said, yeah, you can look at it and see that it's a 4-0 final, but pointed to moments over the course of the game's first half where St. Thomas had opportunities to take the lead first in a game that went to halftime scoreless. There's such thin margins in these non-conference games.
Nice job from Kropp there, able to poke it away.
And what makes North Carolina a perennial NCAA tournament team. Coach Zamorano has gone every year of his Tar Heel tenure with the exception of 2019. Carolina takes care of business in these midweek non-conference games. They've not lost a non-conference home game since early in the 2022 season against Florida International, conference rival of UAB in the American.
Kropp looking for Abeal. Abeal with some great speed to get there. Here's a chance in front. Nobody's there for North Carolina. He had Rygaard Hansen just a step behind on that pass.
Check out this ball from Dylan Kropp. Well weighted. Abeal beats his defender, gets there, keeps it in, and just didn't have Rygaard Hansen where he wanted him there. But still, Carolina, from just pinging the ball around the midfield, almost creates a scoring opportunity.
Working around to Nikolai. Now Frankson in some trouble, is able to escape. They look to try to continue to apply the pressure with Abeal. Kropp up ahead for Bracken Serra. Has Mate right next to him. A great move there from Nacho Abeal. Almost caught Matthew Garcia with it.
Carolina has had so much time in possession that Mate is not afraid to get up there and get involved on these underlapping runs. Now, if UAB can win possession back quickly and send it over the top, then perhaps the Tar Heels can get themselves in a little bit of trouble there. But for now, Mate impacting things on the offensive end.
Back to the corner again for Carolina. Here's the header from Sandmeyer right on cage, but Ranieri is there to collect it. Another great look at this one from Sandmeyer. Got his first career goal as a Tar Heel in the tie against Wake Forest.
That was an equalizer after Carolina last gave up a goal in the run of play. It's pretty wild. Tar Heels surrendered goals in each of their first two games of the season. 3-1 win against UCF, 2-1 win against Seattle, and then had the 2-0 defeat against College of Charleston back on September the 1st, a game where Carlos Zamorano said, you know, his team was a little bit tired that day, had heavy legs, and Charleston's a talented team. They're playing at home. They got the win, 2-0. But since then, that one goal given up against Wake Forest September the 12th, the only other time an opponent has scored since was against SMU on a PK.
Well, these non-conference tilts are most certainly going to benefit Carolina as the final stretch of this season comes about. Abeal tries to get Too nifty on that move. Here comes Humphrey Doe on a run. Up the near side, looking to cross. Nobody's there. But there was a bit of a collision right around the edge of the area.
So as Doe was making his run, take a look at the left side of your screen. That's Kim, and it looked like Frogson who became entangled. And the foul call goes against Tony Kim. Referee Dimitar Chaptarov deems that the South Korean native initiated the contact there. Negated a positive buildup from Humphrey Doe.
It was Frogson there on the collision. In comes the kick from Cortez. Looks like it went off the head of Sandmeyer last. And in comes the throw in for UAB. Carolina on the move. Rygaard Hansen out in front with the left foot. Ranieri is there to make the save.
Well, Rygaard Hansen had a slight step on his defender, didn't have any help along the far post, knocked to shoot it himself. Maybe not the best idea in hindsight, but yet when you're Rygaard Hansen, you're that fast. Might as well test the keeper there. Let's see it again here. Yeah, Rygaard Hansen has the defender Jessen beat. And he saw the other defender coming over from his right side. And rather than try and cross it back into traffic, took the shot. And you saw that little burst there from Bertil Rygaard Hansen. He is so fast. Think back to a conversation early in the season with Carlos Simona when he said that Bertil changes the way you have to defend us. Compared him to an elite three-point shooter in basketball or a wide receiver in gridiron football who can stretch the field. He is just a different kind of player when it comes to defending the Tar Heels. And that's been a factor this year, even if Rygaard Hansen hasn't necessarily had the individual point production that shows up on the stat sheet.
You're absolutely right. Watching it on TV doesn't do his speed justice. Seeing it in person, seeing it firsthand, he's an explosive player that the Tar Heels are lucky to have on their side. Bracken Serra battling for it, is able to win it. Here comes Abeal, looking to facilitate for Carolina. Risky ball inside by Nikolai. Ultimately cleared out by UAB. So they'll get the whistle in the middle of the field. Tony Kim continuing to stay physical in this matchup for UAB. They are down but not out with a lot of time left to go here in this non-conference tilt. Here's a chance in front, kicked away by Kropp. So Carolina looking to make some substitution, and in comes that man, Dan Klink, who put together a tone-setting performance for this squad.
This is Saturday against St. Thomas. Game was scoreless, less than 35 minutes to go, he scores. Less than a minute later, he scores again off the header. And then a hat trick in just 6 minutes and change. The first 3 goals of his college career. 2024-25 Gatorade National Boys Soccer Player of the Year out of the Baltimore area. Had overcome some hardships in the preseason to work his way into the lineup for the Tar Heels. This is now his 7th appearance of the season off the bench. And Dan Klink has elevated Carolina with that hat trick. And Coach Simwano said in some ways it was fitting because you and I, Mike, have talked so much about Bertil Rygaard Hansen, who has just stepped off the field for the Tar Heels, and his impacts. Well, as Rygaard Hansen was perhaps dealing with some of his own doubts and struggles about not being able to have scored a goal this season. When Reingard Hansen did score for the first time against Lipscomb last Tuesday, Coach Samuano said he looked over at the celebration, and the first person to go run out and greet Reingard Hansen was Dan Klink. And in some ways that makes it just so fitting that it was Klink who got the glory in the win over the Tommies on Sunday.
He's a special player for North Carolina. They're lucky to have him. It was an amazing performance against St. Thomas that lit a fire under this team. And a much-needed fire to be lit as they head towards the end of their season. Mate working on Rizzo. Nikolai with it. Mate trying to get it into a clear view. Mate has it taken away. As there's Kim now with it. Him and Sandmeyer have been battling out in the middle of the field. Berge playing well on Kim. Doing a good job at shutting him down. He's a big part of their offense. Check gets tripped up, falls on top of the ball. Carolina and UAB battling tough, but with your Carolina now with the lead, how do you start to build on this momentum against a team like UAB?
Well, you want to try and find a way to a second goal before halftime if you can. Tar Heels have held the majority of possession in this game. They've been deliberate and looked for their chances. All three of the shots Carolina's taken in this game have been on frame, but if you're the Tar Heels here, you want to try and turn this possession into A, some more well-timed opportunities, and B, ideally that second goal to really put a stranglehold on the Dragon, if you will, before halftime.
Here comes Rizzo up the middle. As Jessen to his right. Up ahead for Rizzo once again, but Kropp is there and able to force it out. So Tuesday night we'll have a special conversation with North Carolina men's basketball coach Hubert Davis. He opens up about a variety of topics and gets candid about what it means to him to carry on the legacy in Chapel Hill. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern on ACC Network and the all-new ESPN app. First half well underway here in Chapel Hill. If you're just joining us here on the ACC Network Extra alongside Matt Krause, I'm Mike Guerriere. Happy to be with you now under the lights here in Chapel Hill. As the whistle in the middle of the field stops play. And they'll continue to talk things over with UAB. We've been called a few times today. The header almost there on the far side. Klink, the confidence from the young man is there.
He's a big frame at 6'4", and Klink timing his run to get to the end of that ball, forcing Ranieri to dive to his left. Dan Klink living lucky right now, almost at his 4th in 2 games right there.
Sandmeyer sends it up across for Dugan. Now Abeal has a chance in front, but it's knocked away by UAB. He was right there.
There's that chance creation we talked about, Mike. A couple of good looks for the Tar Heels. You can tell that that foot is still on the gas for Carolina. Humphrey Doe is down over there for UAB right in front of Coach Simwano.
Humphrey Doe goes down. Another player for UAB who is a large part of their offense this year, as well as Berge for North Carolina goes down as we take a look at the collision right into the benches. Humphrey Doe and Berge went down pretty hard as well.
Yeah, they were both going full speed, and Doe picks up a yellow card from the whole fracas. Second time this season that the junior from Ghana has been booked. Riley Berge getting involved defensively for the Tar Heels. Berge, a senior out of Maryland, who had played in 1 game in his college career prior to this year. Carlos Simwano said at the tail end of last year, there was a time where he felt that Berge was ready, but late in the season, you don't want someone's first meaningful action to come in a postseason game, be it the ACC tournament or the NCAA tournament. And so Berge this year ends up stepping into the lineup when Max Fisher became unavailable for the Tar Heels, and Coach Simwano certainly refers to Berge as a throwback guy, much like Andrew Cordes, because of his loyalty to the program, his willingness to put the work in and get better behind the scenes and earn that opportunity to play, even if it took a considerable amount of time in his college career.
Berge's been able to step up in many ways, made his way onto the SportsCenter top 10 list with his first goal this season, as Mate is tripped up on the near side.
Humphrey Doe's got to be careful. He already has the yellow, but that was the speed of Mate that created that foul.
Substitutions coming in for UAB. Humphrey Doe does need to be careful. Lucas Nordin will step in for UAB as Humphrey Doe heads off the field. Doe, a guy who has the ability to win his 1v1 matchups. It's a player who they really need out on that field. They want their offense to find success. Here comes Jessen in to kick that one away, but it still stays with North Carolina. Back towards Abeal, as Jessen is able to come up to it. Abeal with his speed is able to get there.
Quelled the counterattack, 1 possession back just like that. So as much as we talk about Abeal on the offensive end, that's a defensive situation right there. UAB didn't have the numbers on the counterattack, but to snuff it out that quickly just shows you the abilities of Abeal, both offensively and defensively, through the Tar Heel midfield.
Abeal gets it taken away. And it's cleared out by UAB. Carolina still gets it as they continue to control this game. Here's Crop making his presence felt on the attack. Klink is there and it goes over. Hands on the head. He really wanted that one, but not everything's going to go in.
Dan Klink off the bench gives the Tar Heels an aerial threat in the box. Second time he's used his head to try and put one on frame. Skies it slightly and keeps it a 1-0 game.
Abeal up front, makes a good move. Will the ball stay in play? Ranieri comes in to grab that ball at Abeal's feet to stop that offensive chance.
Abeal hopping on the pogo stick to get over Ranieri sliding out there.
So in comes the throw in here for Frogson. That ball rolls down the line. Berge finally collects it. But not a lot going right now for UAB.
Just one shot not on frame over the course of this first half. The one corner earned by UAB.
Dugan here for Abeal, who can't get it too strong off the right foot. Soft contact, and Ranieri is there. But a player down for North Carolina, that's Andrew Check. An intense player for North Carolina. Brings the pressure, a vocal leader for this UNC team.
That's well said, Mike. He is the emotional leader of this team. One of the few key returning starters off of last year's team to come back here in 2025. A lot of players exhausted their eligibility or turned pro after last year. But Check has not only facilitated things through the midfield, but he has provided that leadership on and off the field for this team.
So Sandmeyer gets called for the foul. And sets up UAB. Here's Joliva. The cross comes in, and it's headed away from the area. As another ball comes in, Cortez is there, though, for North Carolina. See him navigating the defense here as he rolls it out for Crop.
So, Mike, you hear these barks in the background?
I do. It happens to be a special night.
Yeah, it's Dogs
here
and
in
Dorrance
Chapel Hill.
night, so they did this with the women's team a couple of weeks ago too, where fans can bring their dogs, but we can hear those barks. It's a unique soundtrack. Remember the 2010 World Cup when it felt like the world discovered those vuvuzela horns?
Yep.
Made it sound like there were swarming bugs or something like that in the background of every game. But those barks in the background tonight.
Well, that's a good soundtrack, if you ask me. A great showing of some furry friends here tonight at Dorrance Field. Makes me miss my dog at home as we continue underway here in this first half of action. Carolina with the lead over UAB in this non-conference tilt. As that one sent out of play by Sackerson.
If you're UAB here, you're down under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Obviously still time, but Carolina has created some more of those opportunities. Up to 5 shots in the game, but here goes Abeal with the potential, another chance.
UNC's offense applying the pressure. Abeal for Nikolai. The right foot is knocked away. But UAB still trying to clear it out. Carolina with numbers on defense. This one sent ahead for UAB. Cortez is there to make the save. Another chance goes in. Patrick Fagan, are you kidding me? Ties things up at 1 apiece.
So UAB quickly on the counter. An exquisite through ball. Cortez makes the initial save, and then it can't be cleared cleanly. It's a rebound strike. And a brilliant job by Fagan to turn and angle himself and sneak it inside the far post. And Mike, for the first time in over a calendar month, the Tar Heels have given up a goal in the run of play. We have ourselves a brand new game.
Indeed we do. We have a game here at Dorrance Field. UAB looking for that marquee win on their slate. Could it be against North Carolina tonight? An offense that has seen the shots on goal, just hasn't seen that ball go in the back of the net.
But the quick counter had the back line a little bit disorganized. Still an exquisite through ball to beat said back line, and then right place, right time. Fagan off the bench, playing just his 7th game of the season, the sophomore from Austin, Texas, there to strike the rebound and tie this game at 1. I was getting ready to start talking about how if you're UAB and you keep this game 1-0 after Carolina scored early and held the majority of the possession, you're going to take that as a win. Well, you're certainly going to take as a win being able to find your equalizer going into halftime.
The opportunity came for the Blazers. And they certainly succeeded on it. As the pressure is now on here for North Carolina. Klink sends it across. Right guard, forgive me, Nikolai, there in the middle on the try. It's sent out of play by the Blazers defense. That's a huge goal for UAB. Could be their biggest of the season so far.
There is 1 minute remaining in the first half. 1 minute remaining.
UAB had a little momentum on their side with the wins over Missouri State and Jacksonville, sandwiched around a narrow 1-0 loss on the road at Tulsa. And on Sunday, Charlotte came in, and that's a game where the scoreline of 5-0 is a little deceiving because of how the shot number was only, in air quotes, 14-8 in favor of Charlotte. But for UAB to then concede here on the road, battle back and equalize, it's a lot of momentum for the Blazers into half number 2.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
And that one goes out of play as well. So that will do it for the end of the first half. North Carolina and UAB knotted up at 1 apiece. Matt, it was a great second chance of soccer to be played here tonight, as well as the rest of this season. Carolina still has many chances to work their ways up the rankings. Now currently at 17 out of the top 20. As we're back underway here in the second half from Dorrance.
Very interested to see Carolina's response here. A first half where they did score early, where they controlled the game, but UAB finds their way to the equalizer. Carolina starting with Klink and Dugan at the top of the formation.
There's a chance in the middle. Off the chest of Rizzo and sent wide. Gael Sacristan there on that shot attempt. Kick comes in from Cortez. Cortez has been such a catalyst for this defense, an incredible vocal leader. Definitely tough for him to see that second chance go in. But Carolina's still alive. Dugan with a nice touch.
Dugan didn't have numbers around him, but Czech does well to get to the space. Maintain possession for Carolina.
Sent out of play off the foot of Melendez. Froxson and Nikolai communicating on where to go on this throw-in. Riley Berge. And Kropp over to Mate. So they work it to that back line once more. The defense is the heartbeat of this Carolina team. Berge sends that one right into the chest for Maneri.
So with Klink and Dugan starting out this second half for the Tar Heels, that means that Bertil Rygaard Hansen awaits on the bench to come in later on over the course of this half, along with Bracken Sarah. That goes back to the rule change that was made prior to last year, where players are not granted a re-entry in the second half in men's Division I soccer. The re-entry one-time rule still exists in lower levels and the D1 women's game, but the D1 men's level, when you step off the pitch for a non-medical reason, your night is done. So that's kind of changed substitution patterns over the last couple of years, where you may get the bench players playing a sandwich role, if you will, the meat of the sandwich, where they come in late in the first half, stay out there to start half number 2, and you bring in the fresh legs. And some teams do it the opposite, where you have your guys start half 1 and half 2.
Puts a lot of pressure on those players to have to play those long minutes, but the rule does come in, and there's pros and cons to everything. It does help limit injury to player if the coach plays it right, as that one is sent out. Klink was there to try to win it, but it was last off of UAB as Abeal is there for the quick throw-in. Working the far side. Now they bring it back over for Frogson. Now with Dugan over to Sandmeyer. And they work it back to Mate. Not finding many holes in the defense. Carolina has an opportunity here. Here's a chance for Czech. Over to Nikolai. The cross comes in. And Klink was there, but just not in a right spot. It's Melendez, the captain of this Blazers team. Sent over for G1. And Bryce opts for the long ball. Kropp kicks it away.
UAB able to establish a little bit of possession here early on in the second half. Blazers carrying some of that momentum with them from the late first half goal. So UAB here able to circulate it around, stretch out the Tar Heels a little bit. Can they connect passes against this compact line? Mate does well to step in and win it back.
Well, they're playing back-to-back tough opponents. Charlotte is no stranger to the national spotlight. They're easily a team that could make their way into the top 20, and the stat sheet doesn't show it. Obviously, a lot of goals were scored for Charlotte in that 5-0 win, but the shots on goal were there for UAB. They just needed to cash in on those opportunities, and they got a chance with Patrick Fagan here tonight.
Shots on goal 8-4 in that game in favor of Charlotte, yet the final score was 5-0. So David Lilley's team had their chances, couldn't finish them off against the 49ers, who converted at a high rate.
It's a really talented Charlotte team. That Coach Lilley and his squad faced off against at home, then hopped on the bus the next day to head over to the plane and ended up here in Chapel Hill, where the game is now tied 1-1. North Carolina has been a team that when they get the lead, they've been able to play with it pretty well. 5-0-1 when scoring first, but on the other side of the coin, not sunny skies for UAB. 0-7 when conceding first, but we're tied here in Chapel Hill.
The UAB has not earned a single result when conceding first. Put another way, UAB, when they score first, they end up with a victory or a draw. Carolina, meanwhile, every game except for SMU, when they have scored first, they have walked away with the win. That SMU game, the Mustangs had a PK. That was a game where no goals were scored in the run of play. Carolina got a PK goal, and then SMU got a PK goal. Here's a potential chance for UAB.
Headed away by Kropp. The cross came in from G1. The pieces of the puzzle are starting to come together here for UAB. Back on the attack they go. On the far side, the cross is knocked away. And another good opportunity for the Blazers. Playing much differently now in the second half than they were in the first.
Yeah, Carolina has not come out of the locker room with a visible spark after giving up that equalizer. Play's been much more even here in the second half.
In comes the corner from UAB, right into the net. Oh my goodness! I think Czech just kicked it in to his own goal. I'm speechless, Matt. An unfortunate chain of events for North Carolina. Andrew Czech, unbelievable what just happened.
There may have been a touch from Fagan, who was the goal scorer in the first half. Let's see here. If anything, it's a little back heel into traffic, and then Check trying to clear it up off the line. Yeah, a little back heel there from Fagan, and then it's Check trying to clear it up and over the bar, instead deflects it into his own net, and UAB takes the lead.
Not many words from me on that one. An own goal from Andrew Check to give UAB the lead. Just really an unfortunate chain of events there for North Carolina. Coach Simwano not going to be very happy about that result, as Carolina now finds themselves down 1. A team that has so heavily relied on their defense seems to be without it here in the second half.
Well, in a way, it's 2 UAB goals on 2 semi-fluky situations. The first counterattack required an element of skill and quality for UAB to connect on that through ball, and then Fagan be there, right place, right time to follow it up. But still, UAB was able to catch Carolina uncomposed with the quick switch of play. But then that own goal, just a shocking turn of events, as the Tar Heels have conceded 2 goals in a game for just the second time this year. But it goes back to something we're talking about in the first half, with Carlos Simwano telling his team after that game against St. Thomas, where yes, the final score was 4-0, and if you don't watch the game, you say, okay, here's North Carolina, the Tar Heels out of the ACC. They dominate a team out of the Summit League in St. Thomas, but yet that game was scoreless at the half. St. Thomas had opportunities in the first half, and on these thin margins, they went the Tar Heels' way that day, thanks in large part to Dan Klink's efforts with the hat trick in less than 7 minutes. But yet today, some of those little margins have gone UAB's way. Ranieri has played well in goal, and the Blazers have found the back of the net a couple of times, even with assistance from the Heels.
Not something you see a lot from an ACC team. A big-time mistake as UAB continues to apply a pressure on this defense. And this really isn't a position that Carolina has been all too much in their midweek non-conference tilts. I think the question now is, where do you go from here, Matt?
Well, the good news is that there's still 33 minutes left in this game if you're Carolina. And the last couple of games, your offense has been clicking, with now 8 goals scored over the last 3, factoring in the first half goal tonight. Carlos Simwano saw one of his players record a hat trick in less than 7 minutes in the last game out. So you need to mentally turn the page, understand that you're not going to get that own goal back, and find a way to start controlling possession a little bit more, and be able to overcome mentally the fact that you may be a little bit worn down in this game, and push for that equalizer and potential go ahead.
It's been a crazy 13 minutes for North Carolina, letting in 2 unfortunate goals as they now play from behind in this matchup. We talked about it with Coach Simwano as well. Every team that comes to Chapel Hill is looking to play some of their best ball, and that's kind of the case here today with UAB. With the great goal from Patrick Fagan to be able to get that momentum, and you're starting to see that confidence seep through.
He said, you know, it seems like 95% of the time when you play somebody, especially a non-ACC team, you're going to get their very best game of the season. So that's what happened against College of Charleston, and Carolina's one defeat so far this season. And he fully expected it from UAB tonight. That's certainly been on display.
And that is a really talented College of Charleston team as well. There's a lot of mid-majors this year making waves in the national spotlight. I think we've seen the #1 spot change just about every week in men's college soccer.
Well, a team from the America East Conference won the national championship last year in men's soccer. Plain and simple. And the University of Vermont is proving that it is not a fluke, as they're having another great year this year. And their conference mate Bryant also having a great season. 2 of the 10 best teams in the country hailing from the America East. Portland is out of the West Coast Conference. If you use the mindset that you may look at, say, men's basketball or football or another college sport and say, okay, ACC, Big Ten, Big East, you know, these are the power conferences. These are the teams that are decidedly better than others. Well, in the game of soccer, one goal means so much over the course of a game. And so now you find that these mid-major teams that are mid-major in name only provide stern tests to ACC competition.
That's Dylan Kropp, who went down, got tripped up. As we take another look. Just gets tripped up over his own feet. And goes down in the middle of the field. Kropp has been huge on that back line as he's up and at him. Xavier transfer, who has made his impact felt as a Tar Heel.
Dual citizen in the United States and Argentina. Kropp has been a leader since arriving on campus.
Carolina looking for the equalizer. Nikolai in the middle, but it's knocked away. So we're under 30 to play here in the final half. UAB with a 2-1 lead. It's cleared out. The pressure starting to be applied now from the Blazers.
Here's a chance for Carolina. Try and connect some passes, control some possession. Heels do not have a shot over the course of this second half.
Here's Nikolai, sends it back for Rygaard Hansen, and that one almost goes in. Ranieri is there. The right hand made the save and knocks it away. But here comes Carolina looking to get another opportunity. Nikolai makes a nifty move. Nikolai crosses it in front, and it's sent out of play by Ranieri, who's playing on fire right now.
So let's go back to this previous chance a couple of moments ago. Beautiful back heel for Nikolai to find Rygaard Hansen. Second time tonight that Rygaard Hansen has struck it sharply, but right at the keeper, Ranieri.
There's Rygaard Hansen as the cross comes in. Berge can't get ahead on it, as it's still being fought for. Kicked out into some space. It will hold up in play. But Czech is there to use some of his elite speed to get it back for North Carolina.
A great hustle there from Czech to get back there. Quell out the counterattack. Check out Rygaard Hansen.
Here's a chance for Rygaard Hansen as he can't get it by. Second chance knocked away. The chances are here for North Carolina. Nikolai off the right foot and out of play it goes. 3 straight chances for North Carolina. They can't cash in.
So here's the speed, yet again, of Rygaard Hansen. He beats his defender. Initial shot is saved, but then 2 Tar Heels both go for the ball as Klink had his shoulders turned toward it, but Abeal had the head of speed. He was going to be able to strike it cleanly. They both kind of went for the ball, and that led to perhaps some hesitation from both of them.
Here's a ball in for from Nikolai. Kropp runs out to get it. Here's Kropp. Sends it across. It's knocked away. Berge fighting for it. Here comes the Blazers. There's Fagan. Gets it ahead for Rizzo. Here's Rizzo with the left foot as he sends it over. Cortez not happy with his defense right now. He's really animated right now.
So here's another look at it. Carolina thought perhaps that the flag should go up, but yet Rizzo was deemed onside. And Cortez, who we've talked about being a vocal leader for this Carolina team, he had some words for his fellow defenders because you can never assume that the offside is going to be called. And Carolina catches a break with Rizzo skying that one.
A much different look from this UAB squad in this second half. Incredibly confident out there as Nikolai gets tied up with Tony Kim.
North Carolina has certainly had their chances to find an equalizer in this game after UAB surged ahead. Tar Heels ripping off the 4 shots in relatively quick succession, but as we've talked about all game long, the margins between success and relatively routine saves are so thin. As Carlos Simano said, you need to have good players with the quality to be able to finish chances. Pointed to, going back a couple of years, players like Quincy Herman, who was a leader on the 2023 team that reached the NCAA quarterfinals. And this year's team figuring that out. The ability to score goals and finish off those chances. Perhaps one here.
Nikolai almost squeaks it by on the left side. It's Abeal who was able to get it up for him.
And Nikolai, a pocket of space. And that one just away past the far post. Nikolai keeping it on the ground, opting not to send it into the upper portion of the net. We've seen a couple of elevated strikes, lasers off the foot of Nikolai in his Carolina career.
Did he get put in timeout?
Nikolai certainly a marksman for this Carolina team. So he can't keep that one in.
What happened to Humphrey in that space? Punt him and then make him go back.
back to Carolina it goes. Kim tied up with Czech. As Carolina gets it across for Mate. Sandmeyer tripped up. UAB pushing the pace. Here's a chance. Cortez makes the save. And he's quick to get it out.
There's Lucas Rizzo again. Tar Heels trying to go quick. Abeal, a lot of green jerseys around him. And you can see Carolina just a little bit lethargic in this game. They last played on Saturday, but perhaps not at their full potential over the course of this game. And that's something that, again, we talked about with Carlos Samuano, is the great teams find a way to mentally overcome that. Can the Tar Heels do that here tonight?
They have an offensive chance. Abeal has to adjust. Motioning with it. Nikolai looking for some space. So he kicks it back for Rygaard Hansen. Rygaard Hansen sends it into the middle. Nobody home for Carolina as UAB tries to clear it. Kim, some good speed on the outside. Tries to send it up ahead for Sackerson. But Riley Berge is there to cause the turnover and get it back for Carolina. A crazy swing of events in that first half. Decently quiet second half here so far. Like we have said, anything can happen here today. And that has already been proven with UAB in the lead against number 17, North Carolina.
If you're wondering about some history as we tick under 20 minutes to go, still an eternity, all things considered, UAB did beat an ACC team on the road, knocking off Clemson last year. North Carolina has not lost a regular season non-conference home game since September 3rd, 2022 against FIU.
UAB continuing to look on the attack. Looks like Mate, who went down, limping off the field now.
Freshman from British Columbia immediately over onto the bench to receive some attention.
Substitution for Carolina.
Emmanuel Mate has stepped up big in his freshman year for the Tar Heels.
So with Bracken Serra stepping onto the field, Rygaard Hansen already out there, Dan Klink stays out there. Bracken Serra sitting a little bit deeper than his normal forward position, playing more on the midfield line, but he will not be afraid to make some runs up front as Carolina putting in more of an offensive focused player here. You're taking some more risks on the defensive side, but you need to find your way to an equalizer here, and time is ticking down.
Bracken Serra indeed a offensive weapon for Carolina. Looking to hope to provide a spark for this offense down and out in this game. Just under 18 minutes now left to play in this midweek non-conference tilt. A beautiful October night for some men's college soccer here on the ACC network.
Give a lot of credit to UAB, even as Carolina is pushing really hard here in the second half. Blazers found their way to a lot of possession in half number 2.
Here's a chance, crossed over Bracken Sarah. Got a touch on it, Nikolai fighting for it. Now with Czech, who gets leveled.
This will be a free kick for the Tar Heels. About 25 or so yards away, and a big test for Ranieri. 5 saves tonight for the Argentinian native, who somewhere on his body claims to have the signature of Lionel Messi tattooed.
Here's a chance for Nikolai as Ranieri is able to knock that one away. It goes right to Krop. Abeal looking to create. Hansen can't get it by G1. Frogson takes it away from Kim in the middle of the field. Sandmeyer gets turned up and doesn't put a good ball on there for Rygaard Hansen, who had some space on the outside. Ranieri doing a tremendous job in the second half of this game. Sandmeyer. As it finds its way over to Nikolai. Carolina trying to set up some offense. Dan Klink lurking on the far side. Sandmeyer sends it for Rygaard Hansen. Rygaard Hansen gets it off with his left foot, but can't get it through this UAB defense.
Well, one native of Denmark denies another. Nice play from the freshman Frederick Denslet here. Stepped in front, but now a set piece for the Tar Heels to try and do something.
In comes the pass from Nikolai, headed away by UAB. Carolina will try to continue to navigate this congestion. So Ranieri has been a tremendous keeper for the Blazers here tonight as we take a look at some of his tremendous saves here from Dorrance.
And even going back to the first half, Dan Klink got his head on it. Ranieri sacrifices the body laying out. This was a nice stretch here. Off that back heel flick to create a chance. Rygaard Hansen again, punch back out into space. 2 Tar Heels go for it. That follow-up was blocked, but Ranieri put in for just his second start of the season. He's been up for the test tonight, making those 5 saves. And as UAB now less than 14 minutes away from a colossal upset. 3-7-1 on the season for the Blazers. North Carolina 7-1-4. They have not lost a non-conference regular season home game since 2022. And another one, there's save 6.
A chance there for Klink, taken away by Ranieri, who we just mentioned, definitely rose to the occasion here tonight against a UNC offense that has played pretty well throughout these past few matchups. Up ahead for Abeal. As he slows down the pace, sends it back for Nicolai. Surveys and can't get that one to Abeal. Not in a good position to receive the pass, and it goes out of play.
UAB will take their time here walking over before the throw-in. And a couple of Blazers either in a seated or bent down to tie their shoes position, stretching it out. Alan Melendez, the captain.
Some guys warming up. For UAB, Alan Melendez, just a do-it-all kind of player for the Blazers. Their leader, as Bryce sends that one into the stands. No souvenir for a lucky fan. Jessen is able to trip up Abeal. A clean tackle, but it still stays alive with North Carolina.
Tar Heels controlling some possession here, able to circulate it around. See if Sandmeyer changes the point of attack, and he does through Berge. I like this here from Carolina as they probe and look to continue to test Ranieri.
Here's a chance for Abeal on the ground, right at Ranieri, though, as he makes a nice play on it.
Carolina quickly sends it out wide. And then a 1v1 matchup. One ball slipped forward. Long distance shot. And you got to give Ranieri a lot of credit, because on some of these shots that have been right at him, he's been able to smother the ball. If you just punch it back out, you create a rebound opportunity, a la how UAB scored their first goal of tonight. But Ranieri's been able, for the most part, to avoid that.
Fagan goes down after a collision with a Tar Heel defender. It's a big opportunity here for UAB.
Coming to the game for Carolina, number 8, Abubakar, replacing number 7, Nacho Abeal. For UAB, subbing in number 23, Joshua Campbell, replacing number 19, Patrick Fagan.
So substitutions come in for both sides. But a chance here for Sackerson. He sends it in, a low ball right at Klink. But here's a chance from Kim, scooped up by Cortez on the far side.
So now Abeal has stepped off for Carolina as the Tar Heels go a little bit deeper and push for some fresh legs here. Still over 10 minutes to go, but if this scoreline holds, UAB 175 in the RPI into this game, it would just further increase the pressure, more from a national perspective, on what was already a critical 3-game stretch for the Tar Heels ACC-wise to close out the end of the year, with Virginia Tech at home coming up Sunday on ACC Network, a road trip to Syracuse, and then the Triangle Tobacco Road Derby at home against Duke Halloween night.
Spooky.
Certainly.
Spooky game for UNC and Duke on October 31st. But some madness happening here tonight in Dorrance. UAB still leading the Tar Heels. Jessen tries to keep that one in play for UAB. Went down hard on the tackle with Rygaard Hansen there as well, and he'll go down.
My God, get the weight room.
David Lilly looking on, second-year head coach, trying to lead his Blazers to a road win here tonight.
David Lilly with a tremendous track record at ETSU and now makes his way over to UAB, and something's starting to brew in Birmingham for the Blazers.
2023 SoCon championship at ETSU, went 17-11-6 over his tenure there in Johnson City. Led UAB on the road to a win against Louisville last year. Now trying to beat another ACC team here in North Carolina.
There's a chance. No Tar Heel there as Ranieri gets down on top of it. So women's sports take over the afternoon every Sunday on ACC Network. This week it starts at noon Eastern with soccer. Number 3 Stanford squares off against Miami. Then Syracuse hosts number 21 North Carolina. In volleyball should be another great afternoon. And indeed it will. As under 8 minutes and 40 seconds is all that remains, with the Blazers continuing to play like a new team in this second half.
He got the equalizer late in the first half, scored on the own goal here in half number 2. Now underneath 9 minutes away from a road win against number 17 North Carolina.
Kim on the far side, continuing to win his matchup. Here comes a run, shut down by Berge. But an opportunity sent wide by Garcia off the left foot.
That touched out off a Tar Heel, so this is going to be a UAB corner. And the opportunity to use up even more time for the Blazers. But as that clock ticks down, Dimitar Chavjarov blows his whistle to stop play.
Coach Lilly continuing to coach his guys up.
UAB corner kick taken by number 21, Matthew Garcia.
It's a position that they rarely have been in this season, let alone against a top 20 opponent in Carolina. The cross comes in. It's a little too strong. It's a great touch there from Bracken Sarah. That's Dan Klink with his hands up over on the far sideline. Some jersey grabbing. And ultimately still stays here with Carolina. Now for Nikolai.
Seen some moments of brilliance from that Bracken Sarah, Rygaard Hansen, Nikolai connection. Do they have another one in them?
Rygaard Hansen. Upstairs in the middle. It's there. The bicycle kick won't go in. The second chance won't either, but Ranieri is there again.
Abubakar Mayanja, the freshman, tries to bicycle it home. Klink there to try and tap it back. Ranieri turns into a brick wall. Right idea there from Mayanja. Looking for his moment of brilliance. And the freshman out of Uganda nearly had it. Now quickly, here's UAB the other way, trying to put this one on ice.
So Kim sends a rocket off the right foot over the top of the goal. As the pressure's on now for North Carolina, they gotta go. Right guard Hansen across, looking for Klink. He can't rise to the occasion there, as it's cleared out to the back line for Carolina. Here's Berge. Creeping closer to under 5 minutes to play now. Here's a chance for Klink. Can't get direct contact.
So before this North Carolina corner, another look back at Abubakar Mayanja's bicycle attempt. So close to a beautiful game-tying goal.
Another set piece for Carolina. In comes the ball from Nikolai. Klink looking for him once again. Berge sends it back for Kropp. Right guard Hansen tries to get a good touch on it. Nikolai sends one across. The header. Oh, Frogson was almost there to get it. He missed it. It was very close there.
Well executed cross here from Nikolai. Had several runners on frame, and it was Bracken Serra. Strikes it off to the left, and Frogson in the neighborhood as well. No one can put it on frame for the Tar Heels.
Here comes the corner from Bracken Serra. A low ball. Nikolai with a head of steam. Low ball towards the left side. So Ranieri is there to save it again.
But he's only able to punch it away. Then UAB clears it. Everybody back defending for the green-clad Blazers.
Ranieri juggled it for a moment, but he falls on top of it and safely secures it as the clock continues to roll here in Dorrance. Sandmeyer gets caught up. Bracken Serra looking for Sandmeyer, and it's kicked away.
Now desperation time for the Tar Heels.
Under 3 minutes left to play. That ball comes in. Here's right guard Hansen. Ranieri knocks it away. Second chance, knocked away again. That was off the foot of Bracken Serra. As Carolina goes quick. Knocked away once again by UAB. So we take another look at that incredible chance.
Struck from the top of the box, punched away. That's all Ranieri could do. And then stepping in to defend, Zacharson cleared out the second opportunity. David Lilly calm and composed. His Blazers less than 2.5 minutes away.
Carolina desperate for the equalizer. Here's Nikolai. Berge squares up, sends a rocket wide left. We've seen him do it before. Just can't cash in on that opportunity.
You can see the frustration for Carlos Samuano and Grant Porter, his longtime assistant. Carolina got the goal less than 10 minutes into this game. Controlled possession for much of this first half. And UAB tallied a goal right before halftime. The second half has been much more even. Carolina pushing here, though. Not done yet with 65 seconds left.
Under a minute is all that remains here in today's matchup. Nikolai fighting on Kim. Nikolai's shot doesn't go anywhere as the Blazers clear it out. Cordes playing well out of his net now. As that cross comes in, Ranieri is able to fall on it. Sandmeyer was there. And under 30 seconds now left in this matchup.
And Ranieri will be in no hurry now. Coach Lilly still calm and composed.
Just another day in the office for him. A clear push in the middle is not called.
7, 6, 5.
As it looks like Carolina is not going to be able to do it. Frustration comes in as UAB pulls off an upset. An incredible win for the Blazers as they go home victorious.